Hey everyone, my name is Samy, and welcome to my Stream Theory playthrough of Dark Souls, where I will be focusing on commentary and criticism and analysis of the game as I go through the whole thing. So, in the last part I actually said that we were going to be approaching a very important sort of turning point in the game, and it's going to be loaded with things to talk about. So I'm just figuring the best way to approach it. So first things first, actually, before I head into there, I want to pick up this item. Get over here. Now you get this item only if you beat Lautrec when you invade his world. After you do that whole storyline where he kills the Firekeeper, and then you avenge the Firekeeper's death. So you get this item appears here after the boss battle with Ornstein Smough, which happened down over there. Oh, it's interesting, all the rubble is still there, even though I quit the game and have since reloaded the game. All that rubble is still in the exact same place. So, yeah, it's just funny how sometimes games remember that. But I'm pretty sure that all that stuff will be rebuilt as soon as I leave the area and come back. So, okay, let's pick up this item. So we actually get Lautrec's armor set here. This is the armor that he was wearing, and it's a fairly heavy armor set. So I'm not sure if I'm going to actually equip it. In one of my previous playthroughs, I did end up using the armor set at some point, and some of the actual pieces have been really good. So I would wear like one or two of the pieces, even up to the end of the game, just because they are fairly good. So hopefully, check on the chat here. I'll just make sure it's up before I get started. Alright, so I have a lot of souls from the battle. Maybe I want to focus on like leveling up. See how much I can actually do that. I can level up 3 levels from here. It's probably something I want to do, since I'm no longer concerned with like helping people, bosses in this area. Oh, I could still technically do that. I could lay my summon sign down to help somebody with the boss right now, but I think I'm going to end up moving on from here. Finally, it's been like about several weeks that I've been in this area. So let's continue. Three main stats are where I'm concerned about: dexterity, endurance, and vitality. Dexterity for my weapon, which has its best scaling in dexterity. So I might want to continue. I might want to put something in strength as well, just because it allows me to use other weapons besides the one I have in case I need to use it. But for now, dexterity is probably just fine. I haven't been too concerned with health in a while. Maybe I won't need to upgrade that. But I think this is fine. Investment for my souls. Another thing I could use my souls for is like upgrading my armor set even further, buying more Titanites to upgrade that stuff. But in the long run, I think levels are a better investment. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this area and start up. We'll see what happens with the story, and then let's talk about it after that. So I'm just gonna let this play out.
And overcome much, chosen undead. Come hither, child.
Okay.
O chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father is formed in obscurus, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lord vessel to thee.
Okay, so we get the Lord Vessels, a very important item in the game, especially this far into it, and we'll see what it does later, soon.
Succeed your Lord and inherit the fire of our world. Thou shalt end in this eternal twilight, and avert further undead sacrifices.
Okay, so this is everything here is very loaded with things to talk about. See what else she says. Okay, you can enter her covenant. There's another. She offers another covenant to do. Let's see what else. Okay, just repeats her dialogue. Okay, she explains more about. Okay, she elaborates further from here.
Father's will raptured us here, and inherited the fire of our world. Thou shalt end in this eternal twilight, and seek a friend, the primordial serpent, shall guide thee. Please, Father's thou shalt...
Okay. So, alright, let's start with what she says, and
May thou be one with the sun forevermore.
yeah, what she says is probably the closest or the clearest explanation of what we have to do in this game, and it's like I don't know how many, like 30 hours into the game where you get the clearest, least vague explanation of what you should do, or perhaps motivation for what you should be doing. And yeah, it's just relevant. We've been getting like very vague and short explanations of this up until now, and that is the fire of the entire world here has been that's been providing the light of the world in Dark Souls. It has been dying out, and the Lord Gwyn has been keeping the fire alive, but even then the fire has been dying out. And so she explains that we are to take Lord Gwyn's place in keeping the fire alive and keeping light in the world. So yeah, that's been essentially the point of the game up until until here, because that is related to the whole curse of the undead. Apparently, when the light fades, the curse of the undead gets stronger, because it's related to darkness. It's related to humanity. When I mean humanity, I mean the items like this item here, and that is right, so the black sprite called humanity, not like humanity in general, but humanity is born from darkness, and it spreads. And I believe if you watch Vati videos, he's the one that I would credit makes the link between humanity and darkness, and the growing darkness of the world, and linking that to the curse of the undead. So all of this with the fire is linked to curing the curse of the undead, which was our initial motivation, and why, or apparently our initial motivation, because we were cursed, and we wanted to cure our own curse. So in order to do that, we need to restore the fire and restore light to the world. So there's an interesting thing about that in there, that the game has waited so long to actually provide a clear explanation of what you need to do in this game, or what everything is about in this world. The main problem, the conflict that you need to solve. And it's an interesting aspect about Souls games that is deliberately vague in the beginning and doesn't clarify really until much later on, when you finally put all the pieces together. And sometimes you have a character like this who just gives you a clear explanation of what is going on. So yeah, that is very strange. I don't know. It's not exactly friendly to, say, new players who are trying to figure it out. But I think the motivation behind that is it wants to let you read into the game as you wish. And that's a fine way to do it. I mean, the reason that I played the game for up until this point, the first time through, wasn't necessarily for the story. The the reason why you play a Dark Souls game or a Souls game isn't necessarily for the story in the first place. You play it because of you want to explore this the world that has been created, and you want to fight interesting enemies, things like that. Maybe the story is a nice additional thing. And that's an interesting aspect. Like, most of the time I am interested in the story as like the primary thing and my primary motivator. But this game, the world is so interesting, and the enemies are interesting to fight, and just learning how to cope with the way this game works is interesting enough that the narrative doesn't need to play a primary role. Although it is an important part of, you know, going forward, it has to have some sort of connecting tissue here. So another thing I want to talk about is, well, this character itself reveals a little bit of a problem with the game's representation of women. I mean, the design of the character, all that cleavage there, and it's like meant to be a sort of reward. The design of this character, I think it's meant to be a reward for the player, and because she is linked entirely to further motivation of the game, like using a woman as an object for motivation and reward at the same time. And you know, that presents a problem with the way this game handles women. I mean, I am playing as a woman, but you know, that's something that the developers and the game wants to allow the player to do, is to make whatever character that they want. But then that doesn't necessarily mean that their depiction of certain genders or whatever, certain races. Well, I think gender is the main issue that we're looking at right now. So as far as our depiction of women, it's not that great, and I would say that Guinevere here is probably the prime example of why this game might have a gender issue. Now you might make the argument that, and now this is like major spoilers now, because it reveals something about the world of the game. Is that, all right? Here goes. If you kill Guinevere here, you reveal that she's actually an illusion of the world. She is an illusion created by another character in this game, but she is entirely fake. Also, what happens is Anor Londo in general becomes very dark, and reveals that all the light in Anor Londo is actually an illusion as well, and it reveals the truth about the world, that the world has, all the world's light has faded away much farther than we thought. So, in essence, like, her as a deliberate illusion created by another character, it makes sense that she would look like this. Now, the character that she is based on, Guinevere, is a real person, but she isn't actually in Anor Londo right now. She is elsewhere in the world, so she might not actually look like this, or be this, like, beautiful giantess or whatever. She might look similar, or she might not look as, you know, exotic or attractive or whatever. As, you know, a tool for motivation. And now as an illusion, her appearance here like this does make sense, and you can make the argument that, you know, her appearance here is fine, and it's more of a criticism of the way the character is using that image. But then you'd have to, in order to confirm that, you'd have to actually look at the portrayal of women as a whole in this game, women characters, and see if there are any counter-examples, any better examples of that. Now, yeah, while I'm talking about that, like, I'm sorry I'm just, like, standing here just talking about that, because, you know, I want to keep the example in view as I try to, you know, break it down and work it out. Maybe I should just continue on, now that we're done talking about the image itself. Before I continue on with that, the Lord Vessel here gives us a new option in the bonfire. That is, we can warp now. So I'm gonna actually use that to warp out of here, and then I can talk about warping a little later on. So let's go back to Firelink Shrine while I continue talking about the portrayal of women here. So we need to look at other characters of this game to really affirm how this game treats women in general. And I would say that it's not entirely great. If you think of all these other examples of women in this game, we have, yeah, besides Guinevere, which we already talked about, we have the okay, there's the Firekeeper, who is down here, right? She is basically a damsel in distress. There is the there was the character here next to the clerics. She is also a sort of a damsel in distress. There is the remember there was one woman here, and there will be a quest that I go through with her, and she's actually a damsel in distress in the story as well. Let's see, there is the spider lady, the sister of Kellogg, who is sickly and she needs help. She's another damsel in distress. Let's see, there is Kellogg herself. She is a woman, and she isn't exactly... Well, she is powerful and strong. She's also a villain, and she's also kind of gratuitously... She's gratuitous in her human appearance, but, you know, grotesque overall. So, I don't know, I wouldn't... because she's a villain as well, she is not exactly a positive example of a female character in this game. There's also... I mean, the fact that I can't really think of too many women characters in this game isn't a good sign off the top of my head. I mean, I named a lot, but so far they have been damsel in distress. I mean, like, Guinevere herself, as she appears, her illusion is sort of a damsel as well. She is asking for help. She is not entirely in danger at the moment, but she performs a similar role as a damsel in distress, in that she provides the primary motivation for the character. Let's see, there is also, like, alright, this guy here.
Fancy meeting you here. You did much for me up above. I am grateful. You know, I was thinking...
Now this guy, of course, he is a guy.
Was that yours?
Let's finish what he is saying.
Yes, I knew it. It seemed like an unlikely coincidence. Well, am I fortunate? This Knight of Katarina thanks you sincerely. Please, take this as a token of my gratitude.
Okay, he gives us a miracle. It's pretty cool. So this guy actually has a daughter, and we haven't met her yet, but she actually wears the same armor as her father here, and she's probably the biggest or best positive example of a woman character I can think of in this game, in that she, well, for one, she wears armor appropriate for a warrior, and she's actually taking initiative, and she is taking agency in her own part in the story with her father here, trying to find him as he continues his quest into these lands here. So she's actually not interested in the same things that we are here, and that is, you know, trying to cure the curse of the undead. She is trying to save... Well, she's trying to do a quest with her father, and not necessarily save her father, but trying to find him first. And yeah, she is a true positive example of a female character in this game. Now, as far as other characters, I can't really think of many. There was the Firekeeper in Anor Londo, but I wouldn't say she actually has much of a role in the story as well. She has more of an expository role in the story. She explains a lot of things, but as far as agency in the story, although she might be strong, I can't really say that she's a good example of a woman who plays a role at all. So I'm not really sure you can't use her as an example either way. Let's see. There's I'm not sure. Also, yes, okay. The lady related to the DLC who we saved from the crystal golem, What was her name? Let's see. Do we have her armor? If we have her armor, then we might actually be able to... I don't know if we have her armor. Her name is on the tip of my tongue. I don't think we do. It was the Ulasil, the lady from the Ulasil. I can't remember her name entirely, but you probably know what I'm talking about. She is, yeah, another damsel in distress in this game. So, as far as, you know, women characters in this game, we're heavily relying on the damsel in distress as a motivational force here, using women as like a plot device to motivate the player to pursue certain various quests. And yeah, this is not that great. And so with that in mind, like looking at Guinevere as an illusion deliberately created by another character, it's not necessarily excusable that she is an illusion. It's not necessarily the game saying that, oh, she is meant to be an illusion and this is why she looks that way and why she appears that way and why she's used as a motivational force. That's necessarily wrong. Alright, so now that we're here, I'm gonna actually turn this Firekeeper soul. Now the Firekeeper is finally back alive.
Thank you. I'm Anastasia, of Astoria. Now I can continue my duty as a keeper. But I only hope that my impure tongue does not offend. Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak. Forgive me. I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you leave, I wish.
Okay. So yeah, unfortunately. Alright, so yeah, the bonfire is back here, which is really nice. So that bringing her here back to life here with the Firekeeper soul we got from Lautrec. That was the very soul of this Firekeeper here. Now restores the bonfire at Firelink. We could finally use it again. Now, unfortunately, it seems like I have to cut this a little short. I mean, I think, you know, I had such a long explanation that, when I wish I could have kept on going further, but unfortunately it seems like something has come up and I have to end the stream for today. Yeah, I wish I could have gone a little bit further because there's more I want to talk about, not necessarily on that topic, portrayal of women in this game, but I want to talk about the fact that we can warp now, which is another really important change. Unfortunately, I think that's going to have to wait until later. So next part, we haven't. I didn't even make any progress in here because I was talking so much about that. But next time I will continue forward, and we'll probably get to new areas, everything like that. So yeah, sorry for the short part here, but I do have to go, and I will. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I do have to go, so I'm going to sign off, and perhaps I'll see you should be able to do another stream tomorrow, and I can continue on and finish my explanation of what big change that happened here. Alright, I will see you later.